Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, no matter where in the world you are joining us from. You have reached the bus station. This is Buster Now. We are the Brunch Busters. I'm Bobby Munson. The man beside me is Chris Parrish. How are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good, and I just want to let everybody know, technicality, streak is not broken. I was on last week for a little bit. It counts.
And speaking of technicalities, the wall behind me is falling apart as we go live. I don't know if it's just a weird day or something, but I think I got it under control. We're good to go.
Way to Joe Biden the wall, bro.
Well, here we are on our show, and guess what? Our show can't be possible without viewers, especially ones as wonderful as we got right here. Our good buddy JJ Josh Joseph. How are you doing? Barry Monkey, who says, hello, everyone. England are 92 for 4, chasing 203 to beat New Zealand with 8 overs remaining. Okay, I understood England in that whole thing. And Ecto Guy, that is our good friend Ecto Guy right there. How are you doing, brother? And I know Basser's up in the house. Hello, ladies. And we also got our good friend Ed Fries up in the house as well, too. This is no CM Punk zone like AEW, right? We know Parrish was here yesterday as we had a half show.
Yesterday, eh? You know, when we did an hour and 15 at Paper Reviews, Ed, did you mess up your own comment?
There you
In
go.
5 minutes and 25 seconds, we caught a blunder.
Way to go, Ed. Way to start it off the rails already, pal.
And this is busting out. The only no-fly zone we have is for actual flies. Everything else is warranted. Because why not get right into it? It is the news that absolutely took everybody by storm yesterday. Straight edge means I don't drink, I don't smoke, but CM Punk means I don't work because All Elite Wrestling went full Arnold Schwarzenegger on his ass and terminated the contract of Phil Brooks, not from an employee, but also as a performer standpoint. Based on the events from All In, Tony Khan addresses the Chicago crowd, saying it was for the first time in his life did he feel his safety was something he had to fear going into work, and no one should ever feel that way going into work. Your thoughts?
Well, there's a lot to unpackage here. I mean, it had to be done. I mean, clearly it had to be done. I mean, this probably should have been done the first round, and I'm not trying to pick sides and say CM Punk's 100% at fault, but again, in what world did they think this wasn't going to become another issue at some point? making special locker room divisions because these guys don't get along with these guys, and this guy's trying to eat out of my bowl and that guy's trying to eat out of mine. It screamed bullshit right from the start. It really did. It's always going to turn out bad, despite the fact that I think I agree with the fact that they are dealing with a bunch of children over at AEW. I will agree with that fact. CM Punk is no better. He is no better. He fed right into it. He had the attitude. He had to go out there and cause too much shit, and this is what you get. And honestly, it's about damn time we saw Tony Khan have some balls and do something like this.
I think the one thing CM Punk did a very terrible job on was telling everybody, look, you guys need to be a little bit tougher in this business. And then he went about it the wrong way on so many levels. Yeah, we understand the situation he had with the Elite. We also now seen part of Collision, him sending people home because he doesn't want to use them for that show. And then this now latest situation with Jack Perry. These are all people that were in this company before him, and he's having issues with them on a professional level to a point where this is the time it went a little too far. Now, I don't care enough to really go into the deep dives of the information. I have picked apart what I have seen consistently on a lot of platforms. Why? Because it just doesn't concern me anymore. I am tired of the charade that CM Punk kind of had. Every single time you're seeing his name, it's never for the right reasons. So over a few times, it's just like, it is like a school full of 12-year-olds.
Mm-hmm.
It is ridiculous. This is a professional place of work. I want to see professional wrestling. And guess what? If you have to phase out the veterans who are choosing not to help the youth in a respectful, proper manner, then just get rid of them.
Yeah, and that's exactly what finally the company Tony Khan did. He went out on Collision to address the fans and let them know that this is what has been done. He took a stance. He finally took a stance to create hopefully a little bit more togetherness within the locker room. We'll see how it pans out, how the decision affects the company, especially on a weekend. I mean, that's a ballsy move to make when you've got a pay-per-view that was likely going to have some involvement with with your star that you've just let go. So quick decision made, ballsy move made by Tony, and we'll see how he can stand up from this. How can he go forward with AEW? Not saying it's impossible. Don't get me wrong. You got oodles of talent there, but I'm just saying, is there going to be any sort of backlash? Did some people buy the pay-per-view? Did some people buy the tickets because they were expecting CM Punk? And in doing so, have you now alienated part of that audience? We'll see. Maybe at the same time, it might bring back some of the audience that might have been alienated by the fact that Punk was there. So it begs to be seen.
I will say, if you're from Chicago and you have not yet seen CM Punk in Chicago with AEW, what in the blue hell rock are you living under? Because they're there every other day.
Yes.
However, I do agree with you. But at the same time, I am going to give a lot of kudos and a lot of respect for Tony Khan to go in front of a Chicago crowd the day of and to address this situation in probably the one area of CM Punk was actually a fan favorite in, and then did what he had to do. Nothing different from when Vince McMahon came out and did something about the screw job. You have to do this. You have to just cut the head off the snake and move on. And I thought that was the right move by Tony Khan.
Yeah, I agree with you. Ed saying CM Punk to MLW tonight. I'm sorry, Court, unless he's working for free, Court Bauer's pockets, I don't think are quite deep enough for a CM Punk appearance at MLW tonight. Chris Vest saying, it's like I said, CM Punk is the living embodiment of the well-known quote, you either die a hero or you live long enough to become the villain, taken right out of Sam Raimi's Spider-Man. Right there. Fantastic quote.
Yeah. And that kind of goes in right to what we're talking about. We'll go right into Fury Road right now, because just in a little
Fury
bit of
Road.
time, you and I are going to be watching Fury Road.
Yeah.
What are the matches? For all the people in the chat that aren't necessarily as familiar with Major League Wrestling, what can you expect, and what are the official matchups as we say hello to our good friends at In the Hot Seat Podcast Official? Thank you.
Happy Sunday to you. Thank you for support and joining, and everybody go check out In the Hot Seat Podcast as well too. Fury Road. Before I even get started on Fury Road, everyone knows that we've been advertising the watch-along tailgate party that we're doing for MLW. Unfortunately, due to unforeseen circumstances, the man with the angelic voice, Papa Smokes, is not going to be able to join us for the Fury Road watch-along tailgate party. So it is going to be myself, Chris Parrish. And again, if anyone wants to join us, you can join us in the chat. You can join us with the watch along. But if there's anybody out there that wants to, come hang out, watch the show with us, or be on the watch along, let us know, because we got a couple seats there for some friends. It'll be a good time. It's going to be fun. But yeah, let's break down for everybody what we got going on MLW Fury Road. First of all, there's the tapings that are going to be happening for MLW Fusion. Not going to go through every single one of them. I did that on Thursday night, but I will mention to you, Parrish, that one of the tapings for Fusion is one of the world's worst tag teams, the main event, taking on our boys, the Bomaye Fight Club, and we're talking Mr. Thomas teaming with Jay Bougie for one of those tapings. So Bougie going to be seen more on the MLW Fusion show coming up. So excited for Maki Ito and Becca. Well, let's talk about that one first then, seeing as it's brought up. And thank you for bringing that one up, because a lot of people are excited about this, and not necessarily due to the technical wrestling aspect of it, and more so the attitude, the charisma, the character, and the fun that comes out of this one. Both of these two known for their antics, their singing, their pop starness, and again, Becca dropping a new song / promo on Thursday night there called You Ain't Cute, as we lead into the match with Maki Ito on MLW Fury Road. Parrish, on this card, we have also got the following matchups. We have got the debut of Kushida at MLW taking on Tony Deppen. That is because New Japan Pro Wrestling are going to be kind of crossing over onto this card with us. We have got Tracy Williams taking on Ichiban. We have got the Kiss My Foot no holds barred match, Matt Cardona with Mr. St. Laurent as his corner man taking on Mance Warner. And then we have got the double main event of the night. The National Openweight Championship is on the line as Jacob Fatu defends against the Callings Ricky Shane Page in a Weapons of Mass Destruction match. And then last but not least, we have got the Bomaye Fight Club champion himself, Alex Kane, going to be defending the title in the main event, the other half of the main event, against Willie Mack. And, of course, Mr. Thomas O'Shea Edwards expected to be the quarterman for Mr. Alex Kane today. Yeah.
Yeah, as Ed's coming in, hit the like button if you're enjoying the banter. Yes, Ed. Yes. In one
of these.
Yeah. Even hit that bell if you're new and you want to be if you want to check out more of the content from our local establishment. We encourage you supporting us. It's something we like. And then he's like, as I say, WWE 2 main events equal no main events. Ed, can you like something? Like, go like our page. Like, you don't have to like anything that goes on in wrestling, but just like this show. That'd be great.
3
I mean, you get it. But no, just to kind of go off, I'm very interested for this number 1 contenders match between Maki Ito and Becca. Obviously, 2 people, like you said, with the background that's very similar. But this match is for the next shot at the MLW World's Women's Featherweight Championship held by Delmi Echo. And you have to think, given the white hotness right now of Becca and her Twitter accounts, all the videos she's going, you have to think she's prime to become the next number one contender for this match. She is probably on a roll of her career right now, and strike when the iron's hot, if you ask me.
And a win over Makito will be considered huge as well, too, and only elevate Becca that much more. The other thing is, too, and I know if Bobby was in here, he'd be letting us know in the chat, that Love Doug, who has an interest in Becca and has shown that in recent weeks, could play a factor, could be an X factor in Becca's corner later tonight. Do know that he is within the taping, so he is at the show, so that is very, very likely that could happen. Yeah, and plus Becca did do an attack just a few weeks ago on the champion Delmi Exo as well, too. So we, half expect to see something building between the two of them.
Yeah, and then again, we have the MLW debut of Matt Cardona in that Kiss My Foot match with Mance Warner. Very interested to see kind of the presentation of the artist formerly known as Zack Ryder in MLW. I know I am. Obviously, we wonder if Steph DeLander is going to be there in support.
I might have to say, like, maybe I don't know the depths of it or how far it goes or whether it can be in support. Apparently, Steph DeLander was booked for a show tonight, but has pulled up with an injury of some sorts. That is, had her pull out. Well, you could debate it. I don't know. Like, do you give up all those bookings that you said months ago for a shot on MLW? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see again, because there is also another segment on the show with which is called Sessions with Saint Laurent, which Mr. Saint Laurent is going to have a mystery guest coming out. So you know that he has been the one to bring Matt Cardona into the fold. He's also going to be in the corner during the MLW Fusion tapings for Snitsky, but crazy to think maybe it's possible that someone like Steph DeLander could be the first guest on Sessions with Saint Laurent.
Yeah, and obviously we cannot forget the main event in the William Mack going up against, a busting out appearance, a busting out friend of the channel, Alex Kane, making his first defense of that championship. Very excited to see what Alex Kane does now as champion. I think he's gonna beat the living piss out of Willie Mack, and I'm saying that strictly so if he sees this, he definitely comes back.
And of course, we got remember, it's not Gene's fault. Yes, it never was. And so wild to see Snitsky. Oh, but you got to take out the T just for copyright infringement. It's Snitsky now. Love it. I don't know if I believe Alex Kane's going to win the match. I think they're going to have a good matchup. Willie Mack is a veteran of the ring. He brings a lot to the table. They built this up pretty decently, especially with the video that they released just last week, where it kind of shows the build 3 weeks. They keep going back and forth, and it's 3 weeks to Fury Road, and they show Alex Kane, and he's in a gym training and hitting the heavy bag and getting prepared. And then they show Willie Mack, and he's out in the streets of where he grew up, and he's giving you his kind of life story. And then 2 weeks to go, they've got Alex Kane and Mr. Thomas that are sitting in a private restaurant. The place is closed down because, champs roll with royalty. So they've got it shut down. They're eating their salads. They're talking about how they're, always training their bodies, getting ready for these big matchups. What have you been doing, Willie Mack? And then they go back to Willie Mack's hometown, and he starts explaining. He's like, what do I do? He goes, I've been blessed. He goes, I don't got to do nothing. I've been blessed with this body. He goes, I'm just going to sit around and eat and play some video games, and then I'm going to come in there and take your belt from him, basically. Then they show 3 days before, and Kane's all sorts of fired up, ready to go. He gets a gift from Don King given to him so that he can look more like royalty. Don't worry about it. I'm having a laugh. It's all good. So he gets a gift given to him as he is championship royalty, and that's how he rolls. He's going to roll in as champion and roll out as champion, says Alex Kane. And I strongly believe that. I think that Willie Mack is, and this is not taken away from Willie Mack. I love Willie Mack. Willie Mack is a guy that is put there much like Nakamura was last night at Payback, and I'm sure you talked about it on the review show last night. They're basically a rollover opponent, someone who can give a solid match to make the champion look good and add to their tally of title defenses.
Yeah, and but also as we saw, as we didn't even know because we're live doing the show, we didn't mention, but Nakamura did actually attack Shinsuke after the show, as people were helping Seth Rollins get to the back. So that isn't done, and I wouldn't be shocked if we see something similar here with Willie Mack and Alex Kane, unless we see something like maybe Hammerstone or a Matt Cardona, something like along those lines, where we see that maybe next test for Alex Kane. But you did say something of sort about kind of grateful and whatnot in the last thing, and I just want to point out Noob. Very grateful to have people like Noob as on the X there is, and you can follow Noob on that same link there. Gave us a nice little shout out and plug, and we just want to say thank you, and we appreciate you. Yeah, it's great to have a good community like we have.
We do. We have a fantastic community. They're spending Sunday with us.
Right?
Twice.
Man, we don't even want to spend Sunday with us. This is awesome. We're just kidding.
But yes, we will have that tailgate watch party for you guys later on today. So that is 6 p.m. Eastern time that the show kicks off. So we will be kicking off around the same time. We're going to be drinking, telling you about what's on screen, having some laughs, taking your comments. And again, if you want to join us in any kind of capacity, make sure to reach out to us. You know where to reach us, either after the show or during the comment section. Let us know. We can get a hold of you. But yeah, the seats are open. Ed, looking your way. Ed, we lost Papa Smokes. We could use third.
And if by chance you're not even sure if you're up for it, you don't know if you have the energy, we got you covered. Go to our friends, our sponsors, our affiliates, our compadres over at RogueEnergy.com, and you can use our promo code OLEPods to help you save money on anything, whether it's the flavors. Get the sour watermelon. Ed, talking your flavor here, the watermelon, done in a sour way. And then he also got the paraphernalia in terms of the hats, the mouse pads. You got the cans for those American guzzlers over there. Use that promo code to save 10% on not just your first order, but every order you have.
And to go to Ed's question here, what's going on? Unfortunately, due to unforeseen circumstances, Papa Smokes got called into work and is not going to be able to make the tailgate watch party with us. So, just saying, is that some extra space if you want to join? I got the show. You can see, we can review, we can talk. Just call me. Get your people to call me.
But Ed, that's not also the only show you can watch. Although we do appreciate if you did join us. But you can go and watch another show that's happening today, and that is All Elite Wrestling All Out. 13 matches, 6 title matches on an amazing 1-week notice, but a show nonetheless. With the 13 matches, I'm going to run them down for you just so you're aware what we have. We have in what could be the 0 hour, I believe it is. I have not seen what's official, but we have Athena, Mercedes Martinez, and Diamante versus Hikaru Shida, Willow Nightingale, and Sky Blue in a 6-woman tag match. And then you got the over-budget Battle Royal. Take that for what it is. You also have the acclaimed Anthony Bowens and Max Caster alongside badass Billy Gunn going up against Jeff Jarrett, Satnam Singh, and Jay Lethal, who in their respective corners we have Sonya Dutt and Karen Jarrett, obviously. But then we got, for no reason, in my personal opinion, just the man who used to be a running buddy of Hulk Hogan in the NWO, Dennis Rodman, is going to be in the corner of the acclaimed. Yeah, that's the thing.
Didn't he show up last night or something like that, or on Wednesday?
Yep.
Something along those lines, yeah.
For what
Dennis
reason,
Rodman.
I don't know. Dennis Rodman, he does Dennis Rodman. He could block, he could play basketball very well, but I have no idea what in the living hell he does in wrestling, but he's there sometimes. We also have Luchasaurus defending his championship because Christian Cage is not technically the champion, versus Darby Allin, who has Nick Wayne in his corner. We got Miro versus Powerhouse Hobbs. Chris Statlander defending her AEW TBS championship against Ruby Soho as the lone woman's title match on the card. Then we have Bryan Danielson going up against Ricky Starks in a strap match. Kenny Omega against
That's a
Kesha.
strap match? Why is it a strap match?
So Ricky Starks wanted a strap match against Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, but on the contract, just put Starks versus the Dragon. And then instead of getting Ricky the Dragon, he got the American Dragon. Yeah.
What?
And then we also have Ed's favorite, who represents Bullet Club Gold, Austin Gunn, Colton Kelly, Juice Robinson, but Jay White going up against FTR and the Young Bucks in an 8-man tag match. We have Better Than You, Bebe, Adam Cole, and MJF going up against who I predicted to be their opponents, the Dark Order of Alex Reynolds and John Silver, for the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Championships. We have Samoa Joe defending his Ring of Honor television title against Shane Taylor. Eddie Kingston alongside Shibata going up against the Blackpool Combat Club in Claudio and Wheeler Yuta. And then in the main event, or so it says main event for the International Championship, we have Freshly Squeezed, because I don't need a catchphrase, Orange Cassidy versus John, I'm going to bleed my own blood, Moxley.
That's the main event?
I don't know. It's just match 13 on the Wikipedia page.
That sounds like a damn 0-hour card match at best. Like, my God. And here's my problem. And I don't want to crap all over them because, like, they've done some things that I liked lately. And I was quite positive with All In. But first of all, why the fuck did you book an event 1 week after the other event? Quick hello to you as well, Astrid. Hey. Good morning. But it is the main event. What the fuck is wrong with them? Again, you book with 1 a week to go. You've got no build to any of these matchups. There's some on paper that I'd like to see. Do I want to see Ricky Starks and Danielson? Yes, but why the fuck's it got to be a strap match? There's no build to a strap match other than Ricky Starks wanting a strap match. Like, so now you just, like, is this a video game? Is that all? You go to the main screen and select what you want. I want a 4-way dance and I want to add this, this, and this to it because, wrestling. Like, that's all I get from this entire card. And I'm so not invested in any of this. It's utter nonsense. You didn't even give it some room to breathe. You could have had All Out next weekend. And instead you don't. AEW has whoever. Yeah, pretty much. And that's not... I'm not saying there's very many of them back there, Barry Monkey. Jesus. Like, this pay-per-view feels pointless to me. I'm not trying to say it because it's AEW. It feels like anyone who books a pay-per-view 1 week after doing a pay-per-view when you've got 3 different television shows during the fucking week, it's nonsense.
You're not wrong. But I mean, I just got to ask a serious question.
Yeah.
AEW brings out a video game called Fight Forever. Is that not the theme of their shows? Because the length of some of these shows feels like AEW does fight forever.
Yeah.
13 matches, my God.
Yeah.
Do you know how big my tab at a bar would be after 13 matches?
Yeah, and you're right, Astrid. That's the biggest problem. There's no room to breathe, no room to build. Like, do I want like some of these matches? Sure. Like on paper, I like some of the card, but I have no investment in it because there has been nothing to really drive this home as meaning anything. Like, this felt to me like just we got it, and yeah, there is. Oh, Parrish, did you miss one?
No, because I said in the 0 hour we got the 6-woman tag.
Oh yes,
and then
yes.
for Statlander against.
Yeah,
I got them all.
All right, sounds good. Sounds good.
I've been on my Triple H, game this week. I swear. That's going to sound bad. You should clip that.
We got. Oh, sorry.
But Athena being the only Ring of Honor champion not on the main card. Yeah. And this is one thing I did like over Payback yesterday. You saw ample time with all of the matches. The only match that seemed to got cut was the only one that you didn't really seem to care about, and that was Theory versus Ray. Didn't really need to be there, but was there in case a situation like that happened. We saw an absolute banger in the cage between Becky and Trish. I just wish that maybe you had a smaller card so you can give Chris Statlander and Ruby Soho your only female championship match some good time. I don't know. That's the one thing I kind of wish. That's the problem that you face with 13 matches. You can't give all these matches ample time. And if you do, as I said earlier, you're fighting forever.
Astrid saying she's happy with how all the matches got decent time yesterday, and that's what happens if you look at
no buttons.
Yeah, I know. But I mean,
you're
that's the thing.
Buttons tonight, insane.
Oh, I know I'm running the buttons tonight, and I'll have beer in one hand, I'll have a chip buddy in the other, and I'll maybe tight buttons with my nose or something like that.
Wait, you have tight bones and you're bringing that atrocity called chip buddy? Come on.
Playback flowed very well last night. Sounds like people are wanting us to talk about Payback in a little bit here, Parrish, or something. That's a vibe I'm getting.
We could talk about what really flowed very well. As a limited time with the
it's usually better if I'm limited on my button mashing.
But you know what flows very well?
What does?
I mean, I know we're 34 minutes in, but this beautiful video we like to call a calendar.
Ooh,
just
calendar
flows so well. Oh yeah. Gonna move some things around here, but yeah.
So let's do it. Let's let people know what's up this week.
Yeah. If you want to look up and you want to see what is up, here is what you'll see.
That's what we got coming up this week, but keep in mind, later today, we still got that tailgate watch party for MLW's Fury Road. And later tonight, following AEW's All Out, Astrid Pizarro is going to be taking the lead and letting you know what went down on the show. So make sure you're tuning into that as well, too. But yeah, a lot of great stuff coming on. Segue vibes indeed.
I'm just going to say, in my old age, I'm getting lazier. So if I want to get to one point to another, I need a good segue. And I'm vibing when I'm on a segue. And then Astrid is doing T.O. because she's excited for taking over that you can find every Tuesday night. And then Ed.
Darn good show.
Because Ed and I like to dance when videos are being played to Pop Astrid. And I heard, and then, yeah, there's a dance. It's fun, as she's saying. Yeah. It's fun. But you know who's dancing last night at Payback? Everyone in Judgment Day, as Judgment Day was risen, as everyone leaves Payback with gold in hand, around waist. Damian Priest and Finn Balor defeated Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens to become the new WWE Undisputed Tag Team Champions in a match that was unbelievable to actually watch. It was a lot more fun than I thought, even though I swear everyone got involved, but it was awesome. And your thoughts on it? It was a controlled chaos, and I actually enjoyed it. It was fun. We saw hockey sticks that nobody knew how to use. We saw blood on a jersey, which is always a great visual for someone that actually played hockey growing up and actually had that happen. It was just fun. And I think in a show where you had a lot of in-ring, you had a little bit of fun. It's what I think the Stampede matches in the AEW are kind of like, but not as off the rails, which here very well we do support off the rails. It's fun in a proper manner. Let's not take that out of context. But yeah, no, your thoughts on Judgment Day becoming champions?
Yeah, great. I have no problem with it, especially like Owens and Zayn. Yeah, it was a great victory, and they were great placeholders to get them off of the Usos the way that it was being built and everything. But I feel like this was the right move. Thank you very much, Josh. I went on a shopping spree with some of the horror movie shirts as of late, so I got at least one more to debut sometime soon. But I like this idea. Judgment Day is absolutely red hot. They're probably one of the most watched things in WWE at the moment there, and it's a good idea without having to pull the trigger on a cash in or getting a belt on Priest that way. You've now got him and Finn as the tag belt holders. This could create them in some tag matches, continue to build that storyline and that inevitable fallout between them. We saw, JD McDonough stick his nose in this business here this night as well too. So a lot of different working cogs in this machine for the Judgment Day, but I think it's a good, strong decision to go this direction right now while everything is, red hot. Pull the trigger. They're making the Judgment Day stars, and so they should be, because this is what's working for them.
Yeah, and there was a spot in this match where Kevin Owens decided to find whatever the highest point of jump he could do, he was gonna do. Very much reminded me of the Jeff Hardy Swanton onto, I think it was Bubba at the Royal Rumble. I believe that was 2000, if I'm not mistaken. But this time it was onto Dominic Mysterio, who I thought got beaten up a lot in this match despite not being in there. And I thought it was great, but also at the same time, Dominic Mysterio, what a night for him, playing parts in both that match as well as Raquel versus Rhea. But it was just like I saw him just grab his ribs. No, it wasn't, because it was at Madison Square Garden. Go back and watch that. Yeah, it was, because it was the same one where The Rock won the Rumble. I'm standing on this. I know I'm right. So, but yeah, and obviously we've seen the elbow from Sami Zayn and just how that just continues to grow. And I think it's just maybe time that they both Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, even though we saw some time off from Kevin Owens, but just allow these two who have been nothing but workhorses for the last year and a half just to get back to 100%. I think that's a right play. Plus, you move the titles on Judgment Day, who are the white hot faction in WWE, and this allows for maybe some new competition, or maybe we see something heading into Fastlane and then heading into War Games. But I don't know. With the resurgence of Ciampa looking for his good old friend Johnny Gargano, maybe we see DIY come into the tag team picture, and I think that's a welcome addition for those tag team titles.
Sure would be, and it would be great if that ended up being who could take them off the Judgment Day. Like there is a team that nobody would have any issue watching beat the Judgment Day and have that happen. So very much looking forward to that. As I'm just, I do apologize. I'm kind of co-watching. I know you do this sometimes, Parrish, but I got a game on over to the side of me here.
Oh, just wait till next Sunday when NFL starts. I'll be like, not to mention next Sunday. So I'll have the Saints game on there, and then right after this, I have a baby shower because I wasn't thinking. I decided to book that on the day of the regular season start. I mean, I'll be fine. I get to see my team, so I'm good. I just F everyone else up. But yeah. I get what you're doing, though.
I know. We're just about to see the debut of the new young striker. Yeah.
I think they're going to be Indus shut out.
Who the hell's Indus Shear anyway? You're watching the cricket as well. No, Barry, I'm actually watching Manchester United and Arsenal right now. And yes, I know I'm a Manchester United fan. Throw your shade. I get it. But it's currently 1-1. We're about to see Rasmus Højlund make his debut. But sadly, in doing that, we also put Harry Maguire on the fucking field. So we said, fuck it, we don't want to win. Let's put the most useless defender on the planet on the fucking pitch. Anyway, moving on. Wrestling.
No. Harry Maguire. If that's not a pun intended Bush League porn name, I don't know what is.
It's the name of one of the most useless, overpaid defenders ever to grace the sport of soccer/football.
Right.
You know what, Ed? Nobody's a Fulham soccer fan, so don't worry about it. Well, England got beat. This is the time I turn Welsh again and say how crap they were. Yeah. I get all that. So, anyway, back to that wrestling thing we were talking about.
We talk wrestling?
We do so sometimes. Weird.
Who would have thought? But
every once in a while, that's what the show's about, isn't it? Like,
once in a while. I mean, we have a thing. We swag it once in a while. People kind of just tune in and tune out. Yeah. It is what it is. But yeah,
let you, the viewers, drive where the show goes.
Yeah, because we like to hit walls every now and then. Because why not? But yeah, I think the one thing too we also want to talk about is just reminding everyone that coming up in September, this whole month, we have what's called September. That's presented by Team Fight Tactics. You can save up to 30% on new subs until October 1 at 12 a.m. Terms do apply. That is live on the Twitch. So just letting everyone know that if you're going to sub, September, which is right now, is the time to do so. So, man, I thought I was honestly going to forget that all month. So,
actually, you know what? I think I already had forgotten it, and I'm glad you brought it up so that maybe I won't next time. So.
Hey, Ed, we've gone off the rails in like 5 minutes. So this is professionalism at its finest for the Brunch Busters, all right?
Very, very much so. Yeah, we're doing good. We're doing all right.
And we're still on the air.
Yeah, this is true. We're doing that this time around.
But yeah, no, any take like you, I know, watched Payback yesterday a little later than everybody else.
I did.
What were your thoughts coming out? Because obviously we know that, obviously that is something that is still fresh in a lot of people's heads. As we have Bobby Bonito now, if this is not timing where we could use some people to get us back on track, Bobby effing Bonito is in our team now. Thank you. Bobby
always puts us on the wrestling track.
I'm no American Nightmare, but what do you want to talk about? After Bobby Munson talks about his takeaway from Payback last night.
Payback again, and I said this to you before we went live, and this was kind of my thoughts on it, is that and this is, a problem with WWE in general right now, I find, is that nothing feels like it's different. Everything is the same. And so Payback to me looked and felt like Raw or a SmackDown or anything like that. The audience is the same, the design is the same, the coloring's the same. Like if they can, because obviously with the LED lighting, they're switching the Raw and SmackDown colors on those prospective shows. Why can't they come up with something to switch it up a little bit at some of these big these premium live events? And I know Payback's a smaller premium live event, but make it feel just slightly different from your weekly television. That was my biggest gripe. Other than that, like the wrestling in the ring, there's no problem with the actual wrestling. Like most of the night was decent wrestling or pretty good wrestling kind of thing. But the reason I think that anybody out there is calling this a flat show is because, again, it didn't feel like anything different. And you've seen a lot of these matches outside of a couple on the card. Most of the matches you have seen very heavily on a Raw or a SmackDown already. So again, it doesn't really have its own voice like our good friend Joshua Joseph.
Yeah. And Bobby Bonita. Can't ever forget about Bobby. I know what you're going to say on that one. Yeah, and I think just from a visual aspect, this is where I think, a custom, like just a new stage or something would have gone a long way just to help with the visual point. You didn't have to go so hard necessarily on lighting, but do make an attempt to make things different than what we see every Monday and Friday. But I think from the creative, this is the one thing I would have done. I would have preferred to see Damian Priest in a backstage segment go to Finn Balor and says, Finn, I can't work with you tonight, but I have a solution of someone who can. You want me to think on JD McDonough? All right, let's see what the kid has. He's going to be your partner tonight. And then in tow, we have something very similar where the Judgment Day, again, becomes the tag team champions. Only because Damian Priest, after that main event, oh my God, was that main event between Shinsuke Nakamura and Seth Rollins was brutal to watch at times because of how aggressive they were in this, which, by the way, first time ever the World Heavyweight Championship since its inception at Night of Champions main evented a show. So we saw that. But if that match didn't scream Shinsuke Nakamura beating up Seth Rollins, targeting that back, injuring a champion to a point to where you could see a cash-in, and at the end, your final scene is exactly what we did saw, but just altered with Damian Priest as champion, Finn Balor and JD McDonough as tag champs, North American champion Dominic Mysterio and women's world champion Rhea on the stage, and you're showing that pay-per-view, that PLE was all about the uprising of the Judgment Day. Ooh, now that to me, I think would have made that show just a tad more big.
The only thing, and I get what you're going with that, but doesn't it not kind of come across like Damian Priest is starting to boss the group around? Like it kind of makes him feel like the leader in that situation and everything. And I don't know if that needs to be the case just yet. I don't know.
No, and I'll say this in two ways. One, a lot of the issues was Damian Priest not caring enough about JD. So in a way, he's kind of showing that olive branch to Finn Balor in a way. But also, I think if you're going to go after the main title, the World Heavyweight Championship, you should carry yourself a little more than anybody else, because now you are the man on the show. You are that person. Just like Rhea is the woman in the division, right? She does a lot of the same things. She's usually the one in between, telling both Finn and Damian to shut the F up at times and to get on the same page. I think this is just Damian Priest emerging a little bit. And then now Finn Balor is happy. He had his chance. He failed. Now he's in a different role. I think if you were to go that way, I don't think you're really doing anything wrong here. I think people just would like to see Finn Balor kind of not being taking orders down, but I don't think it's a taking order. I think it's just the Judgment Day falling into place and representing the dominance that they are on a show.
It's a very fair assessment. They kind of have themselves in a bit of a situation though too, because it's like, what direction do you go? And yes, the match was good. I mean, again, I didn't for a second believe Nakamura is going to take this belt away from Rollins, or do I feel it's the right time to take the belt off for Rollins to put it on somebody like Shinsuke, just because, you know, this was put together decently. But Shinsuke did exactly what he needed to do. And like you said, they went to war and made it look like Rollins was in a state that he was vulnerable to the cash in. And that's what they need to do for Rollins to make this title matter. Again, you're talking about a third world championship added to the company with no real prestige anything back in it. You need to give it some credibility, and giving matches like that as a main card matchup, a main event level matchup with somebody who can work. If you want it to be the workhorse title, the key word is work. And you got to work. And that's what they did. They worked in that matchup and they put it over. And that's what they need to continue to do to make that title have credibility at all moving forward. I hated the ending. Should have been 2 stomps to make me buy in fully. Great match. Just wish I had the extra bit. I get tired of the double finisher sometimes personally. Yeah. That's just me.
I think the fact that Shinsuke later, you didn't see it on the broadcast, but after the PLE ended, attacked Seth. I think that really shows that one stomp doesn't completely end Shinsuke's attempt. And maybe you do see something more when they do have a next match, because they will have a next match. And I think that just makes sense, because now it'll take that much more out of Seth Rollins, which the one thing I did love about this match and the build is the fact that you finally saw Shinsuke in a light that he should have been in for a long time, but also for the first time you saw somebody actually humanize Seth Rollins a lot more. Seth Rollins is known to be such a character with his clothes and his just actions, but now we made him more human because he's feeling the pain with all these nagging injuries, to the point where you're getting sympathy for him because he's always fighting hurt. He's always fighting above his weight, more or less, and he's always trying to overcome something. And I find we finally saw sympathy out of Seth Rollins as champion. For the longest time, we saw a lot of confidence and cockiness that we thought was entertaining with Seth. Now we were actually getting real sympathy for him, and I think that's a kudos to the work Shinsuke Nakamura done, because this is one of the better heel work he's done since he did the kind of the Intercontinental, his initial Intercontinental run. But yeah, so I'm excited for the second match. I really am. I think they only scratched the surface of what they can do.
See, had they done this more with Shinsuke in the first day in place, there would be a lot more doubt in people's mind whether or not Seth was actually walking away with the belt last night.
Well, it would have created a
slight bit of doubt. So.
This is why it's very important Triple H books, because he does this well. The old man didn't. But Bobby brings out a great question. I do want to touch on this, is that Trish Stratus versus Zoe Stark. One amazing match. Also, by the way, Bobby, if this person is still on, the most ironic raid I'm going to make for this broadcast. And you're going to pop when I tell you the name.
Like the sound of it.
But Bobby says, do you guys think we'll see a match between Trish Stratus and Zoe Stark? I not only hope we see a match, I hope we see a little bit of a feud between these two. I thought Trish Stratus in his first ever cage match that she had was fantastic. The ode to the two, which are Victoria and Lita, who were in the first women's cage match in WWE history by Trish and Becky doing moves from them, I thought was a great tribute and a great ode to the people that paved the way for them.
How about doing the leg spot? I loved the leg spot, kind of almost reminiscent of when Brett and Owen did that in the cage at SummerSlam. I thought that was great.
And I know Chris Best was very concerned about the safety of Trish, and I'm just like, you know what? With her yoga, this is probably easy. But at the same time, it was great, and I loved it. This was a very good cage match, and I'm going to say I might even be putting it up into possibly a top 5 favorite cage matches under the WWE banner for me. Yeah, you squinted too. Okay, fine. I'm wrong. There's OMD. Whatever. Cut it down. Josh Net says, now Trish has a forehead bump to go with that stink line she had all the time. Rude.
We expect anything less, though. Come on.
No. But yeah, aftermath, Trish Stratus is blaming Zoe Stark for the loss, saying, oh, you didn't do your job right. Slaps her in the face. Tell her to leave. Zoe goes to leave, but instead just grabs the door and slams it shut. I was like, yeah. Awesome. It's those little moves that just make a big thing. The crowd reacted for it. They were there. And then Trish goes to hit again. And then boom, we see Zoe just absolutely flatline Trish Stratus, take off the thank you Trish shirt, throw it in her face. She stood tall. I loved it. I thought Trish Stratus was amazing last night. She made Becky Lynch look like $1 million plus in that match, while making Zoe look like $1 million afterwards, and then could be going in to help elevate her as well, while we see Tiffany Stratton and Trish Stratus post this. I thought it was fantastic.
Yeah, it was fantastic. And again, with no other cage match on the card, it makes it that much more memorable, because you're not trying, oh, what was this cage match, this cage match? No, one cage match done to perfection by these two women, and it was. And not just these two women plus then the Zoe Stark moment, which was great. You knew it was coming eventually. We didn't know. We knew it was probably going to be soonish, and that last night would have made sense. But even with the thought of knowing that it was coming, it was still done so well that everybody should be happy about the direction they're going with that.
Okay, I'm going to say something that obviously is clear, but needs to be said. CM Punk, take a damn line out of Trish Stratus, because what Trish Stratus came back to WWE to do was a hell of a lot more than what you went to AEW to do. That is what a veteran should act and should do for the industry and for the betterment of the industry moving forward. Shame on you, CM Punk. You should act a little bit better.
Yeah.
Thank you, Trish.
Yeah, thank you, Trish.
Fellow
Canadian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though she's a Leafs fan, you did good work last week.
That's right. We even forgive those Leafs fans here in Canada.
We talked
even
about
even OMD gets off the hook sometimes.
Not in the second round, but yes, he does get on. Joshua Jones is saying smelly.
Wow.
Dude,
wow.
Dude, no.
What is wrong with you?
I mean, that too. But yeah. Bobby, we're hitting an hour in, and I know we have more
we got
work
people coming to watch us later
today. We do. So I'm just going to say, where can the people find you on not only the socials, but what you have coming up in case they miss the calendar as I get ready for the raid?
Well, you get that raid ready. And again, my socials are there down below. That's where you're going to be able to find me across all platforms, whether it be on the X, Instagram, Threads, Facebook, all the junk. I'm on all of it. You can catch me there. You can also catch me on my personal channel, twitch.tv/videobro_ Bobby Munson, where I do some gaming streams. If you've seen Secondhand High, you know that broadcasts on there as well, too, where we just have a good old time being one of the world's worst gamers. Outside of that, of course, Thursday nights with Papa Smokes right here on the channel with Ring Respect Radio, and then again next Sunday for Busting Out. And please, Prairie Pro Wrestling over on YouTube as well, too, where you can hear myself, Pop Smokes, call matches every single Saturday. And over to you, Mr. Parrish, and where are we going to be raiding out to? Where's my pop?
All right, but first off, Bobby has one last question. Who else would you guys like to see wrestle against Trish Stratus? Well, right now I do want to see Zoe Stark, but maybe down the road, Raquel Rodriguez, because I think Raquel has a lot to improve on still, and I think that would greatly help her in the long haul, because I did like her and Rhea, but I did think it can be better. So yeah, that is somebody that I would put down as somebody I'd like to see. But yeah, where can you find me? Well, you can find me on all the socials that you're seeing scrolling underneath, but you can follow me every Monday. As this Monday, I'm back in full because we're off. because I like statutory holidays in Canada, baby. But yeah, you can see me on the Monday Night Raw watch along where we get to pop the living crap out of ourselves when we watch Gunther take on Chad Gable for the Intercontinental Championship. Whereas Gunther becomes the winner in this match, he will become the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion of all the times. So that's nice. And then every Wednesday at about 10 p.m. Eastern, you can see Ed Fries and I battle it out against that bastard Eric Bischoff on WrestleDraft. And then, as you said, every Sunday at 12:15 p.m. Eastern, we are busting out. We are taking that crap off the rails because that's what we do. It's what we feel because busting makes us feel good. And yeah. And then, of course, the Fury Road watch along. But yeah, Bobby, as they're just chatting, I see some WWE 2K, probably 23. We're rating out to somebody called Just Push the Button.
Just push the button. Thanks, though. Love it.
So that is exactly who we're going to be going. I think
we're over there already by the looks of it. So.
Yeah. So if you're on the YouTube side, thank you. Make sure you hit that like, hit that thumbs up, hit that notification bell button. But in the meantime, and for all the time, you can bust it. You ready to rumble, just let it